And welcome to another Franchise Hockey Manager stream. My name is Adam. I'm the community manager of Franchise Hockey. With me, as always, and digitally pictured on your screen is every-time producer Jeff. Say hi, Jeff.
Hey, everybody.
And we are back with Rewriting History Montreal Canadiens 1933-1934 season. Stay in the Course, Part 23. Jeff, we've finally got back to the top of the crumbling NHL because it's the 1930s and,
Yep,
well, the countries are not doing that well.
two consecutive cups. Yeah, but we're 4 years into the Great Depression now. Uh, we're starting to lose teams. This is going to be Ottawa's last season in the NHL. They'll move to St. Louis after this season, play only 1 year there, and go completely out of business after that. And the clock is ticking on Montreal Maroons and the New York Americans, which will disappear during do the Canadian Maroons make it to the 40s? Can't remember. The Americans do, but by the end of World War II, we'll be down to 6 teams.
I feel like the Maroons are done in like the late 30s, before World War II,
Yeah.
without
And
looking it up.
the unfortunately, as bad as things are on the business end, with this particular season is even worse for the players. There are a couple of ugly things that happen. One of which, show you the newspaper article here. That is the what happened in a Boston Toronto game early in the season. Eddie Shore was run over by King Clancy. Uh, was a little confused when he got up and decided to go after what he thought was Clancy. Instead, it was Ace Bailey. Ran into Bailey from behind. Bailey fell and cracked his head on the ice. There's obviously, as you can see, there's no helmets in this era, and wound up with brain hemorrhage. Nearly died. It was the end of his playing career. And Shore would, fortunately enough for Shore, he survived because Shore would have been charged with uh, possibly premeditated murder if he had died. So Bailey recovered, forgave Shore, never played again. What we will get as a result of that this year is the first All Star game that we'll see in this stream, which is technically the Ace Bailey benefit game, even though this incident isn't going to happen in it. So we will, in the format of that, is the Stanley Cup champions, which is us, playing against the All Star team from the rest of the league. So that will happen in early January. So we'll have one extra exhibition game effectively in the middle of the season to play. And the other unfortunate thing that happens, well, not exactly this year, it'll happen in the off season. But if you look at Charlie Gardner, who in this game is the sort of the co-starting goaltender of the Leafs with Tiny Thompson. Uh, in real life, his career is doing great up to this point. He's actually the Vezina winner in 33-34, and then it abruptly ends. What happened was he had severe kidney disease, actually played this whole season being ill, and despite that, still put up those great numbers, but then wound up dying in the off season. So
Well,
again, he'll survive that in this game, but you can see it was not a great year for NHL players. So two star players. This will be their last real life season, but in this game, neither thing will happen. Both of them will go on. Actually, the Eddie Shore, Ace Bailey incident won't happen because Shore, Clancy, and Ace Bailey are all teammates on the New York Americans instead of being on the Leafs and Bruins. So no problem there. The Americans were dominating this game for a few years. They've gotten a little bit old now and aren't quite as good. And which is why we've been able to win we kind of stole the cup 2 years ago and then managed to win it outright last year fairly solidly. But we're also getting a little bit old. One big move we did make this off season, our goalie for the last, how many years was it? More
quite
than
a
I
few.
thought. 13, 14 years. Roy Waters is starting to slip. Had good numbers last year, but you can see the star rating is now down to 2. So we shipped him out across town to, across the building, really, because they're
Yeah, I was
also
gonna say
playing in the
crosstown.
forum.
No.
Yeah, to the Maroons, who and got a. Well, actually, we included Pit Lapin, who's getting old as well, and been sort of a third liner for most of his stay with us. And what we got back was nothing spectacular. George Owen, but we've had some depth issues on our defense the last couple of years. Owen is 2 stars, so he will kind of help us out in that area for a little while, even though he's not going to be around that long. So that I think would make us contenders for another year. Hopefully, Wilf Cute, the young goalie we got from Ottawa a couple of years ago and has played a little bit in the last couple of seasons for us, picks it up and can develop quickly and take over Border's spot. But we will see if that trade turned out to be a bigger mistake than thought, and just going to play through the exhibition games here.
Yeah, I'm just going to point out here because you had said Montreal Maroons suspended operations in 1938.
Yeah, that's right, just before the
Which is,
start of
yeah.
World War II. So I'm just going to rush through the exhibition games here.
But Jeff, can you
good.
name when the franchise was actually officially suspended and finished?
Is
Or
it one of those
canceled, I
things
guess
where
would be
they,
a better way to say.
this is, okay, hang on, bad news here. Rushing through the exhibition games, and Howie Moran's, oh boy. Ruptured a tendon in his foot and is out 3 to 4 months.
Oof,
That is
that
the
hurts.
bulk of the season for us. So that'll get us into January-ish if we're lucky. So Moran's is going to have to go to the injured list. I'm going to have to pull somebody up from the minors that I would otherwise kept down this season. It looks like our top prospect is Mud Bernatow. But I think Godin is a little ahead of him. Yeah, he's a 1.5 star. So Sam Godin will come up as the spare forward. And we'll actually put, looks like Joe Lamb going into the lineup, and I'm going to have to get the AI to redo the lines completely. Paul Haynes is going to move into Moran's spot from the first line. So that is a bad start to the season. No, I'm not delaying treatment from her ends. That would be a big mistake. Sorry, what were you saying?
Said, when did the Maroons franchise officially get
All right,
stripped?
yeah, that was, I'm guessing,
That's the best way to say it.
not
Yeah.
till the early 40s sometime.
It was actually after World War II,
That late?
1946 or 19. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to look here. 1946, I think. 47. Yes, they actually tried to sell the rights to St. Louis, and then St. Louis became Philadelphia, and Philadelphia didn't have an arena. And they tried to build an arena, but that didn't happen, so the franchise was suspended in April of 47.
And partial development report, pretty good across the board. And although you can see some of the older guys are definitely slowing down here. Gonna throw the backup in for one exhibition game. And gets a 4-1 win. And then there's a training camp development report on top of that. So another good one. Gonna take a quick look through here to see if anybody. Oh, Q jumped up 2.5 stars. I think he was a 2 stars at the start of this, wasn't he?
Who was that, sorry?
Wilf Cute was at 2 stars at the start of this game.
Yes, he was.
Okay, so he got a half star there in camp, so that's good news. And I believe this is the final preseason game. Yeah. And we go with a 4-1 win over the Maroons. And a few guys, I don't think we're going to lose any of these players on waivers. No, all half star, shouldn't be a problem. And the home opener against Detroit, who are finally the Red Wings now, as of last season. So we're going to have to get through the bulk of this season without Howie Moran's. We'll see how that goes. And that's off to a good start. 6-0 shutout. And George Owen, the guy we got in the trade for Warders, gets the game-winning goal. And second game against Ottawa, who had taken season off 2 years ago and has sort of rebuilt the team. And we only managed a tie there. A little disappointing because they're not. Well, they're arguably the worst team in the league right now by a fairly significant margin. And now we got another injury. Oh, it's just Cox, the backup goalie. Day to day, but it's kind of inconvenient because that puts us up against the roster limit. So I'm just gonna send him to the minors. I don't think we're at risk of losing him, and even if we do, Geddes, the third stringer, is pretty much just as good. And neither one of them is really going to play anyhow unless we get a goalie injury. And now a 4-3 loss to Chicago, which is, again, not one of the stronger teams in the league. Not worried yet, but I'm getting there. And Lou Trudell, one of the bench warmers, looks like he was hurt in practice slightly. Not a big deal. And okay, 3-2 overtime win in the Bruins. Keep seeing Johnny Shepard's name in the top stars. He seems to be off to a good start, but that's bad news. Paul Haynes, our starting center, is hurt. He's going to be out for 1 or 2 weeks. Could have been worse, I guess. So Trudell is hurt. Not going to call anybody up. We'll put Godin in and juggle the lines around before the start of the game. I think I need to set Godin's role properly, and we get beaten 5-1 by the Maroons, who actually aren't playing Waters in goal. They've got Davy Kerr as the starter. That's a reasonable role for Godin, but I think I'm going to make him a power forward instead. But he would have been okay in the screener job. And 4-1 win over, well, it's only Ottawa, but win's a win. And now our best defenseman, Dave Seibert, has got himself suspended. Ooh, and the Leafs are off to a 5-0 start. They haven't done well in this game at all. Toronto has yet to win a cup since we started this game in 1909. Any of the franchises, NHA or the various versions of the NHL team. And they've missed the playoffs, I think, every year since they changed the name to the Leafs. But apparently that's going to change this year. And, yeah, as you see, the Maroons are going downhill. 4-2 or 7-2 blowout win for us. Despite our best defenseman and best forward both being out of the lineup. And just curious, yeah, Shepard, 11 points in 7 games. He's actually tied last season's output in only 7 games into the season. And Bill Cowley, one of our, yeah, he definitely was not at 3.5 stars at the start of this. He's really taken off. So he's jumped into the Morenz role. In real life, he was a little slower getting started. Yep. He actually played, his first year was that St. Louis Eagles season next year, and put up really big numbers, well, when most of the guys were away at the war from 42 to 45.
2.5 stars at the beginning.
Yeah, so he's gone up a full star in a little over a month, I think. So it's very good news for us. And back-to-back game against Detroit here. See if he can keep going. Yep, 4-1 win. And despite all the injuries, and that's good news, Haynes is almost ready, but let's let him get completely healthy. And see if we can beat the Maroons this time. Yeah, 7-1. Okay, who needs our star players? We're flying. And Haynes is almost back. Another development report. Bruneteau coming up. Good. He'll maybe be with us next season. And another one. Jack Schill is up to 1.5 stars. I think he was only 1. But again, seeing quite a few guys slipping. Owen, it was 2 stars when we got him in the trade. Is down to 1.5 now. That's not good news. Hmm. We're definitely getting older, and oh, great. Bill McKenzie, one of our defensemen, is outdated day. We got any forwards who can play D? Doesn't look like it. So Godin is going to have to go back out for Haynes, and I think I'm going to have to. Oh no, Trudell is waiver exempt, so what I'll do is just shuffle him down briefly, because I'm not going to lose him, and bring up Walt Buswell back into the regular lineup for one game to cover for McKenzie while Siebert is still suspended. How much? Oops. One more game. This will be the last game for Siebert, so we'll at least have the D back to normal briefly, shortly. And yeah, Johnny Shepard, Player of the Month.
Right.
And up against the Leafs, who are 7-0. Can we break their winning streak? Yes, we can. 4-0 shutout. Very nice. So I think we are definitely going to be contenders this year, and Babe Siebert is back. So I have to add Monroe into his spot.
Not bad to be contenders when you lose your number one center.
Yeah. And Buswell goes back out for Monroe. Wait. Oh, I switched. I have to redo the lines. I think I did put Manthe in instead of Monroe. Yeah, rest of that can stay as it is. And McKenzie, the last injured guy, other than Moran's, is almost back. Yet another shutout. Wilf Cute seems to have started strong here. Yeah, 1.61 goals against average, 940 save percentage, and 4 shutouts through 11 games. Uh-oh. And of course Shepard is hurt now, but just day to day. And we come with that with a 4-1 win over the Rangers. Doing much better than I expected this year, although we, more injuries. Leduc and Couture this time. So McKenzie gets back just in time to take over for Leduc. And Couture, Buswell goes back down, and I'm going to have to bring Trudell back up. Trudell didn't have a number assigned apparently. Get down 26. Oh, and Shepard is close to being healthy. We'll give it one game without him. But the lineup is really starting to get thin, and the rare 0-0 tie with the Rangers. And Shepard not quite ready, and it's only Ottawa, so yeah, another tie with Ottawa. We're giving up points there that we shouldn't be. Oh, they're actually, well, the Maroons and the Americans aren't doing well at all. Ottawa is surprisingly third in the Canadian division standings. Technically in a playoff spot, and the Wings, sorry, Pewog, they're struggling. Oh, check question. When's the college hockey run this season? I'm not sure if we're going to do a college game or not on the stream this year. Adam and I were talking about a couple of things, right?
Yeah, I think so.
You think we're going to do a college one? You think we were talking?
Oh, no. We're thinking about talking about things is what I meant.
Thinking about talking about. Yeah,
Thinking about talking about things.
that sounds like a definite commitment. Okay, Godin out. Shepard is back. Did he go in the right spot? Yeah. Oh, wait. Cox is healthy again. So I can swap my backup goalies. And Geddes goes back down. Cox hadn't actually been in the game, so he technically didn't get a number yet. Oh, nobody's wearing one. You can have it. Oh, yeah, that was Warder's number. And yet another shutout, 5-0 over the Americans this time. And yeah, two things we're getting a lot of this year: shutouts and injuries. Now it's Russ Blinko's turn, out for a couple of weeks.
That's a lot of red crosses.
Yeah. Godin goes back in again. Couture is nearly back, as is Leduc, so not that worrying. And Morenz is down to 1 to 2 months away. And 3-3 tie with the Americans this time. And good, we're close to getting a couple of guys back, but we got back-to-back games here, so won't have any of them back for this yet. And yet another shutout, 3-0, and Johnny Shepard again, first star. I'll take a look at how is Shepard doing in real life at this point. 31. I thought he had slowed down by now. Yeah, this would have been his last real season, and he had really tailed off. Started the season in Boston, and then went to Chicago. But this year with us, yeah, 19 points in 14 games somehow. So a late career resurgence for him. Oh, and Couture is healthy now. So who do I? Yeah, take Trudeau out for him. And a 1-1 tie this time. And now it's only a minor injury for Haynes at least, so Blinko can go in for him, but actually having to throw together lineups. A new one every game almost. Oh, Leduc is healthy again, so is it? No, it's Monroe that should be coming out. And I saw a news story here. One of the special events. Mackenzie, who should really be doing that sort of thing because he's really on the bubble, has apparently been playing a lot of dressing room pranks. Whoops. Oh, geez, forgot to reset the lineup. This may be bad.
What?
No, 3-0 win.
Are you okay there?
What?
I can hear lots of sirens going off around you.
That's weird. It's like really faint on my end. Don't know why the microphone's picking it up.
It's coming through very clear when you talk.
Yeah, that's weird. It's like can you hear it now? I can't hear it at all.
Yep. All right, no, good.
Like you can literally hear it right now. I can't hear anything, even if I'm pulling the headphone away. That's bizarre.
Yep. It wasn't as much that last time, but yeah, no. So.
Okay, well, I think it's gone now. Okay, yeah, there we are. This is going to be a messy lineup. And yeah, finally it catches up to us, and the Maroons blow us out 8-1, and they haven't been doing well this season, so that's kind of embarrassing. And of course, we get yet another injury, Johnny Gagnon this time, fractured a rib, 2 or 3 weeks. No, not delaying that. Treatment on that. Haynes is almost back. That's good. And Cute gets goalie of the month. More development from the young guys. Oh, Lauren Carr's up to 3 stars. Nice. He was only 2 at the start of the year.
Even better.
And again, yeah, some of the Shepard lost. Yeah, you can see why this was his last season in real life. He lost 3 points that time. And the owner is satisfied with this, as he should be, because I think we're, well clear. Well, 2 points up. Only the Leafs are in touch with us. They've tailed off a little bit after that fast start. But nobody in the American division is close, so we're on top of the league and the division. But it's basically us in Toronto this year. And injuries, Haynes is back. I've totally lost track of what I've been doing with substitutions, so we'll just go with the... Oops, wrong guy. Yeah, no, I've really messed it up. Completely ad hoc lineups at this point. And I want to see what's going on with it. Moran's still showing 1 to 2 months. And have the AI reset the lines for this game. And can we still keep winning? Yeah, another shutout. Cute is really holding us together this season, I think, so that's turning out to be a very good move, giving him the starting job. And unsurprisingly, the Americans have Alfie Moore in goal. They managed to beat us. He's like their third stringer. What happened there? How did they trade away whoever the starter was? They're making a few. Okay, yeah, they traded George Hainsworth to the Rangers, which kind of makes sense. He's getting pretty old. And they've been really active this year. So I guess trying to fix the various roster issues they've got as the team gets older. But a little surprised they don't have Chabot starting, although he hasn't done well yet. He's been bad in the 2 games he's played, and Moore's been a lot better. So Alfie Moore was sort of a career NHL backup. His real career, you can see he hung around for pretty much a decade and played a grand total of 21 games, almost all of which was in 1936 with the Americans. So he's getting a chance he didn't really get in real life. And still no Gagnon. Moran's is only showing 2 to 3 weeks now. That is very good news. So he'll be well rested for the playoffs.
Good.
And an important 6-4 win with Haynes getting 5 points. Nice over the Leafs. And is Gagnon all the way? Nope, 1 to 2 weeks still. We're opening up our lead a little bit. Another 3-1 win over the Maroons. Oh, and here we go. Here is it's the All-Star game. Technically, it's the Ace Bailey benefit game, although nothing has actually happened to Bailey in this game. So what I will do with this lineup, I'm going to temporarily take our couple of key players out for this one game, since it's basically an exhibition. Monroe goes in for Siebert, and which forward do I sit? Let's say Joliat goes out for Trudel.
Okay.
Oh wait, is this oh, did I? No, hang on, I think it oh, that's odd. The game doesn't seem to... Did I miss it?
It's what? Sorry.
The All-Star game. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's I did miss the game.
Boiled egg
And
with a question in the chat.
yeah, I saw we got blown out 7-1 or 7-2 by the Team NHL. I think we need to fix that. That should be, if you're actually controlling the defending champion, you should get to play that game normally. Didn't realize it was doing that. Doesn't come up that often, although there are a couple of periods in the NHL where that's the format. So we'll see if we can change that. And any word on when the release date for FHM 11 will be? I think we'll be able to. I was hoping to make an announcement this week, but it's not quite there yet. Hoping we can say something maybe, hopefully by next time. Won't be a trailer or anything yet, but we will be able to give
Information is coming.
Hopefully a release date. Still a couple of things we got to tie down at this point, but getting close. And after the embarrassing loss in the All-Star game, we again have an even more embarrassing loss, 3-1 to Ottawa, where young Salaps in his rookie season is the first star. And we bounce right back. Haynes with another big game and Cute with another shutout. And Morenz is almost ready to return to practice, apparently. He is showing up as 1 to 2 weeks, so he will be back before the end of the regular season. Gagnon still day-to-day with that fractured rib, and Couture has hurt himself, so I will put Trudel in for this game. And yet another shutout for Wolf Cute. His numbers must look fantastic at this point. 1.64 goals against average, 11 shutouts in 27 games. And this isn't really that low of a scoring area, so those are pretty spectacular numbers. Now, don't think he's still, I'm not sure if he counts as a rookie or not. Does he have the, no, doesn't have the asterisk, so he's past the, doesn't qualify as a rookie anymore, but he would have been an easy rookie of the year, I think, if he did. Although we finally get shut out there by the Leafs. How's that going? We're still 4 points up on them, and big gap after that down to the Maroons, who are pushed their way into third. Americans, those trades are not playing off. They're kind of falling apart. Now, wow, Salaps in Ottawa in his rookie year off to a really good start, third in the league in goals. And now who's hurt? Now Trudel, who was just in the lineup because Couture was hurt, and Gagnon is also healthy again, so just do that for now, and I'll redo the lines when we finally get Morenz back. 4-1 win over the Hawks. Oh, we're coming up on the trading deadline. January 31st, 5 more days. We can get another game in. I'm thinking we should just about have Morenz back by that point. 3-2 win in overtime over the Wings. Okay, and now we are at the trading deadline. Trudel is almost healthy, and Morenz is back to day-to-day and can come off the injured list, so I'm going to put him on the active roster. He's still can't quite play yet.
Exciting.
Trudel would have to go to the minors, but we'll get our star player back. And trading deadline. Quick look at the trading block. I'm not really looking to make any big moves. Although Maroon's trying to move Marty Berry, who technically is somebody we could take because he's born in Quebec City. We've got the house rule in this game is only players from Quebec, French Canadians, or who played for the Canadiens in real life, plus a couple of exceptions if we run into roster trouble where we can't fill it out with those rules, but we've mostly been able to go by him. Oh, wow, he collapsed this year. Still a good player, but something has gone terribly wrong with his production. And maybe due to that, can we pry him loose? Seems unlikely, but if I offer one of our young centers, probably Blanco, who was Rookie of the Year in the NHL in real life this year, and let's see, young guy with potential maybe. What about, I think Brunato is probably the... Oh yeah, no, where it's...
So many choices.
Yeah, no, I think he's going to be a little too good. And yeah, no, that's not going to work. A little too expensive for us. Anybody else of interest on there? Dave Trottier from Detroit. No defensive help at all, and I don't really need forwards that much. Bob Gracie, who, yeah, he qualifies. He played for the Canadiens briefly from the Maroons. Maybe that'd be a little cheaper alternative. He's only 23 and he's at 3 stars, so I think that's worth a brief shot at least. Do we have, okay, Joe Lamb, who's been heading downhill. If I package him with Trudell,
Shipping guys across to the other side of the arena.
oh, they've already got 50 players under contract, so we've got to take a garbage player back. And will they do that? They want a little bit more, maybe a draft pick pushes it into that. Yeah, they'll do that. Okay, good. So Lamb and Trudell and a draft pick that won't be anything for Butch Schaefer as a throwaway player, but the important guy in this deal is Bob Gracie. There's a story about him, his first NHL game, first shift on the ice. Before the face-off, he skates over to the official scorer, who was sitting on the, in that era, was sitting on in the penalty box, and says and tells him to write down "goal by Gracie." And the guy just smiled at him, and he actually went out and scored on that first shift anyhow, but didn't do a whole lot after that. Well, I mean, he stuck around the league for a while, but he didn't really have. Had a couple of good seasons with the Maroons, but sort of a career midline guy. Never really turned into a big star, but we got him now, so that helps our depth a little bit. And oh, I've got two. Oh, that's Schaefer. Yeah, he's going for the minors. So I think we improved ourselves at the trading deadline there.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, Gracie needs a number. You can have a low number. Yeah, 12 is fine. Does unfortunately push down Johnny Shepard, who's played really well this year, down the depth chart a little bit, but he has been slipping. He's saw a couple of those development reports were not good to him. And Bill Cowley is out with a chest bruise, but I think that will coincide nicely with Morenz being able to play. So yeah, Morenz can. No, I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to put Cowley out for a good hand for this one game and wait until Morenz is completely healthy. The way injuries have gone this season for us, this is probably going to cost us a loss against the Leafs, but I'll take it. Nope, 5-0 win. We just can't avoid winning here. And Morenz is perfectly healthy now, but it's Paul Haynes' turn to be out of the lineup. We will get all of our centers back eventually.
Do we have a good trainer, or what's happening here?
Morenz returns to the lineup, and we immediately lose.
We have a good trainer.
Yeah. And Cowley is healthy, so still waiting for Haynes to get back.
You know, for the amount of young guys you have, your coaches are actually pretty terrible at coaching young guys.
Maybe I should look at that in the off season. And we get shut out by the Maroons.
Just going across, skills coach below average, offensive coach low, defensive coach poor.
That's their working with youngsters.
Yeah, goalie coach, coaching prospects average.
Okay, so we got to get some guys who can work with younger players, apparently. Almost completely healthy. The good news is we've got a pretty good lead right now, and although we do get upset by the Americans there, 6-3. And naturally, another center gets hurt. It's Russ Blinko this time.
Of course.
Oh, and he is gone for the year.
Ooh.
Torn ankle ligaments, indefinite injury.
That would almost be career ender at the time.
Yep, he's going to be gone for the rest of this year. We're going to have to call somebody else up. I think it's going to be Jack Schill, who we saw doing pretty well, or well, it could be Bruneto, but the way we're losing centers, I'm going to bring up a center.
You could train someone to play center, too.
Although it's getting a little late in the season for that. And interesting that Moran's, if I leave it up to the AI, he is getting stuck in the second line. Is he? No, I want him on the power play first line as well. Cowley has really taken off this year to the point where he's actually pushing Moran's for the top job, but we will leave Moran's in the top spot. No, I'm not going to. Yeah, Blinko's only 25. I'm not going to risk really messing him up for good by making him play.
No, he's got a war to deal with in 5 years.
And there we go, back on winning track. 2-1 win over the Hawks. So this will be the lineup we go with for the rest of the year. And hopefully we can close out strong. 5-3 win over the Rangers this time. And Bob Gracie, the guy we picked up, is the first star. 7 games left in the 44-game schedule, and we are up by 8 points. We are running away with the league lead. So looking good for our chances of repeating as champions. And Senators are still 1 point up on the Americans. Not anymore, because the Americans just beat us. And the Maroons next. Okay, that's 2 losses in a row. We haven't done that often this season. And apparently Marty Berry's taking off because he had a hat trick in that game. And Battleship Leduc does something to get himself suspended for 4 games. So that will be the end of the regular season for him. Oh, no, I think... No, it's 39 games. So, yeah, that will be the... You'll get one game in. And I'm going to have to shuffle Dunk Monroe in to cover for him for those missing games. 4-2 win over the Hawks. And can we finally beat Ottawa properly? 3-2 win. Still a little too close, but we'll take it. I think we probably clinched by this point. Yep, 3 games remaining, and we're up by 8. So we can do whatever with these remaining games in the season. Oh, late development report. Any surprises? Don't really see any. Although, yeah, the declining list gets longer and longer each time. Some of those guys in the minors, but others are people I would rather not see go downhill. Yeah, let's just stick with this lineup. Small risk of injuries here, but we can go out winning and hopefully keep the goalie hot. And Moran's is the first star and an overtime win over the Bruins. Owner is happy with us. And a 3-0 shutout. Cude's first shutout in a while. That puts him at 12 shutouts for the season. Excellent year.
Very nicely done.
Yeah. How did, after he got rid of Waters, what did he wind up? Oh, he hasn't played at all for the Maroons this year. Davey Kerr has completely pushed him out of a job. Oh, it's a 48-game season. I thought we were still on 44. So we've got 5 games left, so we technically haven't clinched. Although beating the Leafs here will probably go a long way towards that. Instead, they run over us 7-1. So we've got a little bit of a race left. Fortunately, Leduc's suspension is over, and just as well because Monroe has picked up a little injury. Okay, you kind of need a win here against the Leafs. And we do get a 1-0 overtime win. And they should finish at 6-3 win over Ottawa. We are now 2 games left. It's up by 6 points, so we now officially have really clinched. And yeah, Cute at the top of the win totals and goals against average. Cowley sliding down the top 10 in scoring as their top 8 as Morenz takes more of his playing time, and Morenz has 13 points in 14 games since he's been back. Reasonably solid. Injury doesn't appear to have hurt him too much. Another narrow win, 2-1 over Detroit this time. And looks like we finished the season with a back-to-back against Detroit. 5-0 win that time. So, because of the weird playoff system, what will actually happen is we wind up playing the Bruins. And then the winner of that series goes, because those are the 2 #1 teams in each division. They get 1 slot in the finals, and then the second-place teams play each other. And the third place teams play each other, and the winners of those series play for the other final slot. It was a really weird playoff system. I've never seen a proper explanation of why they did it that way. It doesn't really make sense to me, but that is what it is for this time period. And how does the Leafs knock off the Rangers, and the 2 Canadian division teams will play in the other final, while we'll be up against Boston in the other semifinal, in our own semifinal. And this is a best of 5. So looking to defend our championship here. Just going to take a quick look at the Boston lineup. So yeah, Mike Caracas, solid goaltending. Pretty good young group of defensemen. Forwards are maybe looking a little thin. I'm not seeing a big score there. Oh, they go. Wait, where's Toe Blake? Is he? Oh, there he is. I just didn't see him. So they do have one big scorer. Toe Blake, easily their leading scorer this year. And forwards look actually better than I thought they would. So this is going to be a fairly tough series. They were 26-18-4 in the regular season and tied for 4th overall. So we got tougher competition in the division, but can get by them. 5-2 win. Morenz with 3 points. And the Leafs finally getting their first playoff action as the Leafs in this game. 5-1 win. Bob Gracie, the trading deadline pickup, the first star. And we can finish it off here. Yep, 2-0 shutout. So we sweep the Bruins. Oh, looks like Paul Haynes picked up an injury, but he seems to have recovered. Yeah, that's fine. And it will be the single arena series, Maroons against Canadiens. So despite not getting any value out of that trade with us, unless Aldepan actually played the whole year for him, although it didn't really do much. And Marty, oh, wow. Remember when we looked at Marty Berry at the trading deadline, his stat line was pretty awful. Now it's almost even with last year. What the heck did he do down the stretch? Okay, there's the playoffs, but here, yeah, 4-point game, 3-point game, 4-point game. Yeah, he's been hot over the last part of the season, so. Has Trudell been, yeah, Trudell's played a little bit for them, and who else did we give them? There was one more guy. Forgotten the trade already. It's Trudell and Joe Lamb. I'm not seeing Lamb here. Did they send him to the minors? Oh no, he's injured. Day-to-day with the injury. It looks like he did reasonably well when he was with them, but still we've been getting good mileage out of Gracie, so I think we won that trade. Oh God, that's, oh okay, well. Not the ideal way to start the series. Our starting goalie is going to miss game 1.
Oops.
So we will have to go with the backup, who, does he have a career NHL game in this game yet? Oh yeah, he played, yeah, ironically enough, for the Maroons for a couple of years. So he's making his, I think, 4th career start. So we'll see if he can beat his old team. And despite the backup goalie in, Morenz leads us to a 4-2 win. I really hope Hugh gets healthy in a hurry, though. It's a 5-game series, so not a lot of room for error, and he's not ready for game 2. But again, Morenz drags us to another win, 4-1. Is Cute, okay, Cute is healthy enough to play. Geddes goes back down. And the slightly injured starting goalie is back in the lineup. Just in time to see us sweep the Maroons for our 3rd consecutive cup.
Huzzah.
Yep, it was not an easy season. I mean, huge number of injuries. Morenz lost for the bulk of the year. And, constant parade of injuries at center. Then we lose the starting goalie for the first 2 games of the finals. Bill Cowley winds up as our scoring leader, so it's nice to see him coming along. He's only 21 at this point. And, well, Lauren Carr, that's nice. I didn't notice that. He took off this year. Our secondary scoring didn't really have anybody stand out that I can see. Shepard looks like he really tailed off after the hot start. Did finish with 28 games, 28 points, which was his best. Is that his career best? Not quite. He had 29 one year, but best since that season. But he checked 4 expiring contracts now. Oh, got a few. Oh, Gracie was going to be out of contract. Maybe why the Maroons were looking to move him.
A good thing you recognize it.
Yeah.
Although, again, free agency isn't quite what we think of free agency today.
Yeah, they're not. They're not even really restricted free agents. We'll still be able to sign them after the deadline. The only time that we ran into a problem was way back near the start of the game, where I let Georges Vezina go get the free agency without remembering that the West Coast League was a thing. And we wound up losing him that way. Played the rest of his career, the bulk of his career in Vancouver. Which, I mean, was probably nice for him because he presumably didn't die of tuberculosis in this game. And everybody else, we're going to lose a bunch of half-star guys, so that will clear out some roster space. Did I? Yeah, no, I already signed him, and all the guys have signed new deals. Cox, despite those two solid playoff games, has dropped down to half a star, so he may not be the backup anymore next year. And we good on the team harmony front? Yep. And the awards. Hart Trophy goes to Eddie Shore. I think that's the first time he's won that in this game. Who gets the MVP? I'm thinking maybe Moran's. Oh, Babe Siebert. And the top goalie, it's probably going to be either Cute or Kerr. He loses it. Cute loses it to Kerr despite the great season. What did Cute's stats wind up looking like? Yeah, sub 2.0 goals against average, 14 shutouts. Yeah, great first season as a starter for him, though. Pretty happy with the way that worked out. Development report, good. Brunto will be with us next year. He's up to 1.5 stars.
All right.
And, yeah, more declines on the old guys. The defenses are really starting to slip. And our contract has been extended. That's good news. That will get us around to the draft. A few expiring contracts. And I think these are mostly scouts.
Also still important.
And decent season score. Already maxed on the ratings though. And just do the quick season turnover here. Okay, what's going on? Roy Waters. Roy Waters has retired after not playing for the Maroons after we traded with him, and we've retired his number 1. And you said we had a good trainer and we've lost him. And we also lost a coach and a scout. So a few staff to rehire.
Well, you wanted to adjust some people anyways, so.
Yep. We'll just find a coaching replacement that's good with kids. 1 should be enough. I'm just looking for somebody with good physio skill and preferably fairly young and good player management as well. Dan Folk sounds like a winner. And now for coach.
Tough choices.
Okay, Roger Barton. It's a little bit older, but he seems to fit. He's just excellent at coaching prospects, so we'll pick him up.
Right.
And do we have a scouting hole with that guy retiring? Not. Oh, I guess we can short Western Canada a little bit. And hire a guy in BC. That's doesn't quite improve us in the prairies. Gonna need one more guy, I guess. There we go.
You know, I thought about this too. Should all of our coaches be actually from Quebec?
Going to be harder the way they're generated in the game.
Pure chaos.
And I need to nominate the new guy will get the offensive coach job as well. Okay. So the coaching is set. How many contracts are we at now? 36 out of 50, so we got room to sign a few guys. Minors are looking a little bit thin. Any worthwhile free agents? 3 guys with half-star potential. I don't think any of them qualify for us. All Ontarians. Oh, there we go. Portland. Oh, he's a defenseman too. So Portland was actually a Canadian briefly in real life. So let's grab him.
Right.
And head over
good.
to the draft. We're going to be drafting last, so don't expect any miracles here. Oh, Russ Blinko finally healthy again, so he'll be back for the start of the season. And looks like the big prize is Hall of Fame goalie Bill Durnan, who was a Canadian. But fairly deep this year. Babe Pratt, Woody Dumartzman, Jack Crawford. Yeah, not a bad group. So let's see how that goes. Who is Wings are drafting first, and the new St. Louis Eagles go second. Oh, Wings go for Jack Crawford. Bit of a surprise.
Well, new St. Louis Eagles, but not really new.
Yeah. Who go after Woody Dumart? I was kind of hoping they would go after Durnan when they collapse after this season. We could sign Durnan as a free agent. But that's not going to happen because he's going to go to the Americans, who, well, maybe we can get him in the 40s after they go out of business. Buddy O'Connor to the Hawks, Babe Pratt to the Rangers. And it's Roy Conacher, Doug Bentley still there. That would be a nice pickup if we can get him, although I don't think he fits. No, and he went to the Maroons anyhow. The Leafs taking Ab DeMarco Sr., whose son also played in the league in the 70s. And we're left with what's left over, which has a couple of interesting players in it, but I'm not sure who fits. I'm just looking for Quebec and the... Oh, Jimmy Orlando is from Quebec. That's kind of who I was looking at. And Joe Benoit was Canadian and also qualifies for the... Right. Oh, Maurice Rimstad, not Maurice Richard. I was going to say he was up there too early. But I think the obvious choice there is Jimmy Orlando, who was a pretty good defenseman for the Wings. I think he's got more than that 1.5 star potential. It's showing up. Very tough guy too. So that'll add a new dimension to the team. And Quebec born, so we will take him. Good pickup, I think. And just jump ahead. And yeah, we're into the
Fun zone?
depths of this. Yeah, could take him. Not recognizing a lot of the names here.
That's always a good sign.
Any of these guys play in the league? Oh, Drouin. Paulie Drouin was apparently Canadian for quite a while. I think he's fairly high. Would have rather had a center, but I'm going to take him. Excuse me. Fourier sounds French Canadian enough, and I want a center, so I'll get that. And with the fourth rounder, first guy on the list, Heffernan, is Montrealer, so we will take. Oh, we done? Oh yeah, I traded the fourth round pick. I forgot about that. So that will be the draft. And we get the free agent signee, Jack Portland, as well as being able to sign Jimmy Orlando, our first draft pick. So that sort of weakness we've had in the last few seasons at the bottom end of the defensive group seems to be fixing itself. That's good news. And I'm going to re-sign. I'm going to sign all of our the guys we took in the draft because we lost a few guys to free agency. And I'm just going to deliberately lapse the rights on a couple of these half-star guys that we don't want. Give them a chance to go somewhere else. And we should get those. Oh, Blinko back from injury now. So no injuries to start the season, hopefully. Unless something goes wrong in camp or the exhibition season. And I think we got everybody signed. How's the depth chart looking at this point? Yeah, Geddes I think is still at half a star, so he's going to push Cox out of a job to the backup job. Other than that, I'll probably try Bruneto on camp at least, see if he sticks. Okay, and I'm just going to check the prospect rankings to see if we've gotten anybody. We're still not too bad. We're fourth on the list. The fourth strongest system, although St. Louis being dead last isn't a surprise.
And won't matter.
Yeah.
Soon.
Yeah, all of those guys are going to be going to free agency after next year. And we're still in reasonable shape. I mean, we're getting older, but I think we've got another cup in us, I hope. And the New Blues, former Senators, Lapse had a great rookie year. Neil Colville slipped after his rookie year, but also decent numbers. But I'm looking at this list and I'm not seeing a lot of candidates for us, unfortunately. A quick scan through, see if anybody is born in Quebec. Wow, nothing at all so far.
I see Ottawa and Halifax count for a...
There might be a couple of guys who play games for the Canadiens, but I think St. Louis going out of business next year is not going to help us one bit. I really wish they'd taken Durnan in the draft because we would have been able to grab him.
That's assuming you're able to sign him, which isn't a guarantee.
Yeah. And we do have, I mean, it's not like we'd had a bad season around our goalie this year. But he would be the dominant goalie in the 40s, so it would have been nice to have him. And the Leafs continuing to improve, which is a bit of a concern. They didn't quite put it all together last year, but they made the playoffs for the first time, so now they're a threat. The Maroons obviously made it to the final, so they're decent. And what's happening with the Americans? They got goaltending problems. But Still good forwards, and wow, that used to be the Hall of Fame defense. Half Dave's really slowed down. And Shore and Clancy are still good, but getting older, so they should have done better than they did last year, but still not a bad team yet. So I think we're still the best team in the league and have a shot at, what was our record before? Four consecutive cups, so we can
I
match
would say
that
four
this
in a row,
season.
yeah.
But I think we can pretty much wind it up there, Adam, if you want to go ahead.
Sure. So with that, thank you very much for tuning into another Franchise Hockey Manager stream. We typically stream every Wednesday night at 11 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/franchise hockey manager, as well as twitch.tv/OOTP developments. All of our streams are archived on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/OOTP developments as well, with stream archives going live Saturdays at about 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for our European viewers. You can also reach out to us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/franchise hockey manager. On Twitter, we're at franchise hockey. You can find a link to our official Discord in our Twitter bio. And of course, you can come on down to our official website, which is ootpdevelopments.com. Click on the community button in the top right hand corner, which will bring you to our official forums. You can come talk about franchise hockey manager, out of the park baseball, perfect team go, or anything else you wish to discuss. As Jeff mentioned, if you aren't following us on social media, you might want to do that sooner rather than later, because you never know when information about certain things might drop. Just saying.
Just saying, yeah.
Just saying.
Would have hoped to have something for you this week, but we will now hopefully have something for you next week. We're getting very close to being able to say something now, so no major problems, just clearing up some last minute stuff before we make the final announcement as to what exactly is going to be in the next version and when you'll be able to get that. So stay tuned and you should hear something about that shortly. So we'll be back next week with Adam's Penguins game. How far into the season? We're getting near the end of the year, aren't we?
I think we're getting near the trade deadline, if I remember right.
Mid end of the year.
Let me just look here really quick. We are... Well, we're December 12th, apparently. Oh, no, wait, sorry, wrong one. Wrong file. Yeah, January 17th, 2028.
Okay, so we'll go through the trading deadline and see if we can turn ourselves into a contender. Going read the rebuild.
Trying to get Letang his last cup.
Yep. The post-Crosby rebuild Crosby's retired this year, is going fairly well so far. So tune in next week and we can see how that turns out. Thanks for coming out, and we will see you in a week.